But that leads to just a quick follow-up question here: is were you to put a jersey on, where would you play yourself?
I would probably play myself
at tackle because you have no more.
Yeah, play myself at tackle in place of Chad Clifton, and I would like to go head-to-head with Warren Sapp, and then I think we would find out who the real man was.
Coach Sherman.
One more real quick follow-up question. Where do you play with yourself?
That's none of your business, but oftentimes it does involve a jersey.
Coach Sherman, you don't look like a tough guy.
No, I look like the guy from Fargo.
You're kind of scrawny. You're kind of dopey looking.
Eerily reminiscent of the ass end of a dolphin.
Is that accurate?
Your physical description of me? Your description of me in a physical sense? Well, I would say that I'm not the kind of guy that's 10 years after a playing career still going to look like you can still go out and strap on a uniform. As a matter of fact, I never did have a playing career, which probably does attribute in some respects to the fact that I look like a complete and total wuss out there. So I guess what you were saying is somewhat true, although I think you left out a couple of things you could have thrown in, perhaps I don't know, dorky, and in another sense, flatulent.
What kind of popped into my head as I was watching you answer that question was, have you ever been in ballerina? Have you ever worn a tutu in those little dance shoes that those 7-year-old girls wear when they're out on the floor?
Well, there are certain pictures that Sanjay Beach has of me, and I'm hoping that he doesn't that he never tries to use them, because that could get him back in the league against everyone's wishes.
Now, Coach Sherman, I guess my question is, we all saw the big brawl at the end of the game on Sunday night, and my question to you is...
I wouldn't characterize that as a brawl, by the way. I'd characterize that as one team exacting some kind of street justice against a band of innocent married men.
I see. Well, then, I mean, that still leads to my question as to why exactly is it, why were you openly encouraging your players to fight with, sharp implements and other sort of destructive objects?
Well, we have to defend ourselves, I mean, we can only be pushed to a certain point. I mean, these teams are going to be dirty. We understand that. We're the Green Bay Packers. But in some respects, we have a right and a I guess kind of a mandate to protect ourselves. Just like I had a mandate to protect myself against Warren Sapp, who I think we all noted before. We know what Warren Sapp is.
One more real quick question to end this quarter. You've been in Green Bay for a few years now, kind of established yourself a little bit. After having some time in Green Bay, are you able to tell the difference between men and women in that city?
Oh yes, I definitely have been able to tell the difference between men and women in Green Bay. Although I will say this, the difference does not lie in the cooter.